All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Volunteer Vibes. I'm Denise Middleton. I hope you guys are feeling well on this Friday morning. We have a lot of fun and unique volunteer opportunities to tell you about. So let's hop right into it. And I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the Art Car Parade, but Houston is hosting the very first art bike festival tomorrow. And so I have John Beitler here with me this morning. He's with Orange Show Center for Visionary Art. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Denise. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. So this sounds really exciting. Tell us about the bike festival and how this came about.
Yeah, well, we've been producing the Houston Art Car Parade for the past 35 years. It's the world's oldest and largest gathering of its kind. And, in collaboration with the Houston Parks Board over the past couple of years, we've come up with the idea that why not celebrate human powered art on wheels and also celebrate our parks and our Bayou Greenway trails at the same time. So we developed the Houston Art Bike Parade. It's a day-long celebration of the artists in us all, and really an opportunity for anybody with a bike to use their creativity, transform it into a beautiful piece of art, and then write it in front of a bunch of their friends. So we start off in McGregor Park in the morning, for an art bike parade throughout McGregor. And then we'll have a group ride that anybody can participate in from McGregor Park to Fondy Park and Smither Park. It's about a 2-mile bike ride along the Brays Bayou Greenway Trail. And then we'll have a festival that lasts until 6 p.m. in Fondy and Smither Park with live music, art activities, food and drinks, and just a lot of fun.
Oh man, that sounds like a good time. And I'm showing some pictures from a previous art car parade where some bikes were featured there. Tell us, what do you need from volunteers in order for this to be a big success?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for volunteers to help us guide people into the parks, greet them, let them know where all the different events are going to be. We'll need some volunteers to help hand out some food. We're actually giving out some complimentary food to guests that arrive, and then just some general setup and takedown of the event as well. It's a community effort. It's a free event for the public. So, we can use any kind of support possible.
And again, this is happening tomorrow from 9 to 7. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we encourage everybody who wants to participate in the art bike parade to go to McGregor Park at 9 a.m. There will be volunteer opportunities at McGregor Park in the morning, as well as at Fondy and Smither Park in the afternoon. But you can visit our website at artbikehouston.com to register to be a volunteer.
And so, how many volunteers are you looking for? And I guess, what are some of the hours that you would prefer? Do you need them to stay for 2 hours or maybe 3 hours? What are you asking for?
Yeah, we have 2 or 3 hour shifts, depending on what the job is, or what the position is, starting at 9 a.m. and going all the way until around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. would be the latest we'd have anyone stay, just to help us with some of the takedown and getting some of our partners loaded back up into their vehicles. But yeah, I think that we can, if you're interested in assisting, we have a job for you. And I think it'll be a really fun day out seeing these really unique forms of art, and really seeing smiles on people's faces and helping us put smiles on people's faces.
Oh, and I know that's the best part. So, is there an age limit also, or an age range that you're looking for in terms of volunteers? I mean, what if they're like younger kids who maybe want to help out, and families that may want to do it together? Is that
Absolutely,
possible?
we love it when a family wants to volunteer together, and that would be incredible. If we really, anybody under the age of 16, we'd like to have a parent or guardian with them. But it can be volunteering can be something as simple as waving at people as they enter, and letting them know where things are in the parks. So it can be a really easy, fun, and obviously very family friendly experience.
And yeah, tell us more about that experience. I mean, what does this mean for the city to host something like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've really, over the past 35 years, we've really seen the art car parade become a cornerstone event for the city, something that we get a couple 100,000 people out there every year. It's one of the city's largest free annual events, and it really is a showcase of our creative nature here in Houston and our diversity too. I mean, we have all sorts of artists and non-artists that participate every year, and us producing the Art Bike Parade as an offshoot is an opportunity to really make it even more accessible to people. A lot of people just can't transform a car into an art car, but it's much easier to transform a bicycle into an art bike. Yeah, and it really gives an opportunity for families to do it together. This year we'll have over 100 HISD classrooms participating. Each of them is doing a bike, or maybe they're doing 20 bikes, depends on the classroom. And a lot of them will be bringing their families out as well to ride along with them. So it's very much a family-oriented celebration of creativity and of our parks and our greenway trails.
That is so cool. It sounds like such a fun event. Now, do the volunteers need to register beforehand, or can they just come on out?
Yeah, we would love for our volunteers to register beforehand on our website, artbikehouston.com. There's a link right at the top that says volunteer with us. You can volunteer through the Houston Parks Board on the McGregor Park side and the Bayou Greenway Trail side, or you can volunteer through the Orange Show at Fondy and Smither Park. Smither Park is a private park that we own. Mm-hmm. And we're doing it in collaboration with the city of Houston that owns Fondy Park. So there's, a bevy of opportunities for people to volunteer and on all portions of the event on Saturday.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great turnout and have a good time. Jonathan Beitler, again, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Denise.
All right. And of course, we have another guest that I want to bring in. He is with Interfaith Ministries, and they are looking for refugee support. Good morning, Ahmed. I think you're on mute. So I know you guys are looking for females, though, for this particular volunteer opportunity. Tell us about the program and what you need from volunteers.
Well, our WEG program, our Women's Empowerment Group program, is actually a program that's been with Refugee Services for a few years. So Interfaith Ministries, for those that may not be familiar with us, is a social services organization. We got our start just with community partnership and building bridges between members of different faith groups. Later on, we progressed into addressing food insecurity amongst homebound seniors with our Meals on Wheels program. And of course, we do play an outsized role in refugee resettlement services here in the city of Houston. Agency.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
We basically help folks restart their lives. We do things like, our motto is welcoming the stranger, and the goal here is to make sure that refugees coming here are strangers no more through the help of the agency and through involvement of our community partners and our volunteers. And one of the programs we have, of course, is our Women's Empowerment Group program run by our amazing program liaison, Chloe Crane. And they're doing a social, essentially, one of the very first essentially in-person events after years of COVID restrictions. It is going to be at a YMCA location here in the Southwest. And it's basically just a social event and a chance for many of the refugee women in our Women's Empowerment Group program to be able to socialize and mingle with members of the community, kind of decrease their isolation. So we're looking for volunteers to help us with this initiative on Monday, May 23rd. Our setup for the event is around 10 a.m., which is we need volunteers for that. Transportation will also start around that time. So 10 to 10:30 a.m. We're still looking for maybe 6 to 10 volunteer drivers that can help with that, transporting many of the refugee women to the event as well as their children. And we do need some assistance with on-site childcare. So that we're also looking for 1 or 2 volunteers that can help with that.
Great. And, I'm sure even just a little help goes a long way. So I guess what would you say to folks, who may not think just driving someone around or helping with childcare may not make much of a difference, but I'm sure this is really important to them in particular.
Well, the group is called Women's Empowerment Group for quite a very good reason, which is essentially the fact that through these social events and these opportunities for many of these folks to just get out of the house and reduce their isolation, learn these skills through these social events to be able to adapt, learn about the American culture, essentially, network with members of the community that might help them with job placement or transportation or getting their driver's license or even just practicing English with people on site and remotely, essentially empowers these folks to be able to, again, restart their lives, gain their independence, basically be able to function how we want them to be, which is self-sufficient, and not just being able to get by, but basically thrive, because that's ultimately the goal here. So it does, even transporting a refugee family to this location like this, having the opportunity to speak to them, let them know that a stranger essentially cares about them and wants them to be able to have a fun day, it does make a big difference.
Right. I know that adjustment is so crucial. So again, the event is happening Monday, 10 to 1. If a volunteer can only, stay for an hour or 30 minutes, is that okay? Or do you need them to stay the entire time?
Sure. So for our transportation need, there's probably more of a time commitment.
Okay.
To and back. For childcare, it's probably a little bit more flexible. For event setup, if somebody just wants to set up or just wants to take down, that's we have a potential there for like an hour or however much they can help, essentially.
Okay, and since you mentioned children and they'll be inside, do the volunteers need to wear a mask or do they need to be vaccinated?
At this time, yeah, we're still closely, like other resettlement agencies, we are following COVID protocols because although our adult clients are vaccinated, many of the children have not had an opportunity to receive not just COVID inoculations, but other forms of vaccinations. It's an ongoing process to make sure that everybody's doing well, that they have their vaccinations. So we do, again, we put our clients, our volunteers and our staff's safety and health above everything else.
Absolutely. And if someone can't make it to this particular event, I know you guys have so many other programs. Tell us about other opportunities that people can help out with.
Well, there are a lot of opportunities, both remote and in person. We're in need of some on-site support with event setup, with admin support. We're looking for some family mentors, people that would like to work with a family or an individual for a prolonged time, for maybe a few months, to basically help them with adjusting. We have a need for people that want to work as want to research employers that want to employ refugees. We have a need for folks that want to maybe just contribute in advocacy work. I know World Refugee Day is coming. World Refugee Day is coming up. Essentially, it's going to be next month, Monday, June 20th. So this is actually quite timely. It's a good time to start advocacy work and just learning in general about the plight of refugees, but also their importance and their contribution to our country, our society, our communities. So there's plenty to go to do, essentially.
And when you talk about transportation and childcare, what's the age requirement for volunteers?
That's a great question. So 18 and above, simply because, again, minors can't necessarily transport clients. When it comes to childcare, that's also a thing. With event setup, if somebody wants to accompany their parents or their guardian to help with that, they're more than welcome to do so. We do our best to make sure that our volunteer opportunities are as family friendly as can be. There are obvious restrictions on that, but yeah.
Right. And guys, feel free, for those of you watching, feel free to drop any questions in the comment section and let us know if you have any questions or concerns about any of the events that we're going over. Ahmed, is there anything that we may have missed that volunteers may need to know before they head out on Monday?
Probably just the last thing is that we would definitely love for volunteers to use the Volunteer Houston portal to respond to this need, because, again, given the fact that we're dealing with children and with vulnerable individuals, we do require a background check to participate. And for those that are going to be transporting clients, it is important that we have a valid driver's license and a valid Texas auto insurance, at least liability auto insurance, also on record to make sure that to maintain the safety of everybody and make sure that we're in compliance with policy.
For sure. Ahmed, thank you so much. I hope you guys get all the help that you need on Monday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And speaking of Volunteer Houston, there are several other events that are happening this weekend and beyond. So we have Erin from Volunteer Houston joining us this morning. Hey there.
Hi, Denise. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. So it's been a hot weekend. This weekend, it looks like the temperature is going to be cooling off just a little bit. So are there any activities that are happening outside or inside, perhaps in some AC, so we can cool off?
For sure. So I want to start out by telling everyone about a really great opportunity with the American Red Cross that's happening tomorrow on May 21st, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're having a big opportunity. It's called Sound the Alarm, Save a Life, and folks will be installing smoke alarms. And basically, this opportunity, home fires are claiming lives every day, and you can help change that by participating in the local Sound the Alarm event as part of this national effort to install 50,000 free smoke alarms in more than 50 at-risk communities. So no prior experience is necessary. On site, they will be providing you with all the training that you need. And to participate in these Red Cross events, they're asking if you're not vaccinated against COVID-19, as long as you wear a mask, then you're good. And if on site, when you're installing at a client's home, if they've requested that you wear a mask, regardless of your vaccination status, they request that you do wear it, and masks will be provided at this. And this event will be held rain or shine. Since you'll be installing these smoke alarms, that would be an indoor activity, but you'll be getting yourself to and from these locations. So that will be a little bit of travel. And if you want to save yourself a little bit of paperwork in advance, you can find this opportunity on the Volunteer Houston portal, but they have soundthealarm.org/Texas Gulf Coast, so you can fill out some forms in advance. So that's happening tomorrow. There's also another really great opportunity tomorrow with the Houston Children's Charity. They have a Better Night's Sleep program, which is providing beds, twin-size mattresses, foundation, bed frame, linens, pillows, and a blanket to children who do not currently have their own, either co-sleeping with their siblings or sleeping on floor and couches. So May 21st, tomorrow, they will be distributing over 100 beds to these children, and they need your help doing so. So volunteers can expect to be packing linens, blankets, and pillows together. And for those of you who want to get some elbow grease in there, you can also help loading the mattresses, the foundations, and bed frames into vehicles. And you can just reach out to Houston Children's Charity. You can find this information on the Volunteer Houston portal and email them, and they will give you the information on where to go. So that's volunteer@houstonchildrenscharity.net, and you can find this on the VH portal. So that's tomorrow. And then also, I do want to bring up this one ongoing volunteer opportunity with SBP. It's called Hurricane Harvey Disaster Recovery, because, there's still so much to recovery that needs to happen. And SBP Houston is a disaster recovery and resiliency nonprofit, and they're dedicated to shrinking the time between disaster and recovery. And so almost 4.5 years after Hurricane Harvey struck Houston, there's still community members who are living in the immediate after effects of the storm. So SBP Houston's goal is to not only provide safe homes for everyone, but to prepare folks for disaster seasons. So what you would be doing is you'd be helping with home repairs at no cost to the families that are still suffering these after effects. So a volunteer day could consist of framing, insulation, drywall, painting, mudding, or exterior work on any of the rebuilding sites. And for this volunteer opportunity, they do ask that volunteers are fully vaccinated, and they say you can provide proof of vaccination to one of the volunteer coordinators there at SBP. And you can find this opportunity also on the Volunteer Houston portal at volunteerhou.org.
All right, awesome. And I do want to mention one volunteer opportunity that is inside, but you still may work up a sweat. Erin, we were out there this morning for Bloom Fitness. And so this is a really unique opportunity because it allows people to train and work out adults with disabilities. And so they had so much fun this morning. I just thought that was really cool because you don't have to have any experience as a trainer or anything to sign up enjoying this one, right, Erin?
Yes, Bloom Fitness is an incredible organization. I highly recommend checking them out, and you can find their opportunities on the VH portal as well. And yeah, it's a great way to get involved. Indoors, so AC. Although I think
but like I said, you still may sweat a little bit.
Yeah.
They had a really nice workout going, but it was really cool. And that's what I love about, the portal, is that there's so many things to choose from, because sometimes people have a hard time trying to figure out what they want to sign up for. So whether it's the art bike festival or, refugee support, like what we've been discussing today, there's something for everybody. So thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We hope you come back next week, Friday at 11 a.m. as always. Until then, have a great weekend. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.